Hello, everyone. Today we are reviewing a classic, Terminator, the Terminator. The Oh, I just need to pause for 1 second. I got a quick message. All right, sorry about that. I just had to deal with something really quick, but we're all good. So yes, we are reviewing Terminator today. It's Halloween and we're doing lots of horror movies, and I know what you might be thinking. Well, Terminator's not really a horror movie, and to those people, I would say, shush. It absolutely is a horror movie. It's an action sci-fi horror. Just instead of a slasher with knives, it's a scary robot with guns. So there will be spoilers for this on the off chance you have never ever seen Terminator. If you haven't, just fix that. Go watch it. It's well, we'll get into it. Uh,
If you
he
haven't went porn last week,
Yeah, so that who's that voice? Well, it's a man who doesn't
I
feel pain. He can't be reasoned with. He can't be
know
bargained with. He, he is Owen Quinn. How are you?
I am the voice from the future coming back to find Stephen Carey because your offspring will save mankind or something. I'm
Something.
grand. I'm grand. I know it's been 2 weeks, but sure, we're here. And I disagree. Terminator isn't a horror film. Sorry, so I will not be shushed. So just there you go.
Okay, yeah, no,
Uh,
yeah, give me your 2 cents. Why would you not consider this a horror movie?
it's just so completely science fiction. Do you know what it's more like? It's more
Well,
like
would
a
you?
serial killer.
Yeah,
Take out
yeah, that's exactly
the
what.
sci-fi elements. It's kind of like Halloween. He's focused on one thing, same
Yeah,
as Michael
as in
Myers.
like a horror movie.
No, because you have the sci-fi stuff. That's different.
Do you consider
Michael
Alien a
Myers.
horror movie?
Oh yeah,
And is that
I
not
I would
sci-fi
think.
as well?
No, but it's horror. I mean, not there's people's bodies bursting open and these things over your face. No, that's claustrophobia. That's classic themes. Claustrophobia, something growing inside you. That's like bullet in the head is different.
Well, Terminator punches a hole through a man as well.
I know, but no, I still think it's a sci-fi.
I think
But
it can be more than one thing. I would class it as an action sci-fi horror.
yeah, okay.
All right, we'll crack on. Let us know in the comments what do you think. Would you be happy to watch this as a horror movie, or would you say, ugh, no, no, it isn't. Boo.
Side with me, people. Side with me.
Well,
I'm
that's not
happy.
fair. You're part cyborg.
Well, that's true. Aye, right enough. And
Yeah.
but I've got my wee leg. It's a pity this wasn't live. I could actually lift my leg up to the screen because it's a metal leg. And I was very disappointed actually when. So for anybody that doesn't know at this stage, I'm an amputee. I have lost my left leg from the knee downwards, so I have a prosthetic leg and it's part metal. And I was actually when I was in the hospital, she brought out these prosthetic legs, and it was like I says, Where'd you get them from? Fucking pound stretcher. I says, have you not got the Terminator one, the robot one? She says, it's the NHS. You're lucky you have this one, which is basically a metal pole with a bit of plastic on it. And I actually thought for the first 6 months, because I never took the trainer off, that the foot was metal. No, like Terminator. And then I finally took the shoe off to change my gutties and change the socks and stuff, which sounds gross because you're 6 months by changing your sock. It's a fake foot, so it doesn't do what a normal foot does,
Yeah,
and it's a
yeah.
rubber carbon foot. I was so disappointed.
I think we should
I thought,
start a GoFundMe to get you a Terminator leg.
well, I'm getting a new leg.
Oh,
That was my new
brilliant.
news. I was going to tell you, yeah, so it has to be approved, has to be funded by the NHS, and so it's in for approval, and it's a click leg. So I'll be putting my stump into it, and then it clicks tight round the stump, so it
Ah,
can't fall out.
oh, that's cool.
So I'm hoping this one's got a metal foot, but that's really sad. But if you're going to be an amputee, you might as well just go with it. Yes, can I have the Terminator leg
Yeah,
every time?
yeah. There you
Every
go.
time.
Every time.
There's, there's
So
my
Owen
one of my
is
Terminator stories.
yeah is Terminator a movie you go back to often?
Uh, no, do you know what? It's one of the movies I go back to. I'll start watching it and not lose interest, but I know it so well at this stage.
Yeah.
I remember it coming out. I loved it. me still love it. Still love Terminator 2. There's a guy recently up in with that Comic Con we went to in Lisbon. He now does a Terminator 2 costume, a Terminator costume. You know, the one where Arnold's face is battle damaged. That scene in the mirror.
Yeah.
So he does the Terminator. Um, it's a good film, but it's not one. When I say I'm watching it and then I go away from it, it's not because I'm bored. It's just because I know it so well at this
Yeah,
point.
I get you.
It's like Aliens. So many good things about it, and
Yeah,
so many good shots.
yeah. It's some of the special effects might be more dated than we'll say T2. But some of the way they got some of the shots was pretty creative. Like when you see the behind the scenes things, like there's shots that literally last maybe like less than a second, but how they achieved it is quite interesting when you're looking into it.
Yeah.
You can like clearly tell when the head is animatronic, and you got some stop motion that's very obvious and all this kind of stuff. But like for its time, I think just the effects are pretty neat.
See, that's the thing. I think we've discussed this before. Everybody looks at it, say this one, just for example, go, oh, that's an animatronic head. Yeah, but so is the werewolf in the Howling, and they might partly animatronic. Without those and pushing those boundaries, you wouldn't have what you have today. So you go back as far as the 60s and the 70s with Doctor Who and Star Trek. You remember the nacelles of Starship Enterprise used to be partly transparent, with the effects. And Doctor Who against a green screen, part of his jacket would disappear. So it's even else. Oh, it's looks cheap or whatever, but that's brilliant for its time.
Mm.
And what they built on that movie, like how long was it between Terminator 1 Terminator 2? About 5 years,
About
maybe?
5 years, I think, was it? I think
Was it
84
5?
was this one, and 92 was it for
Yeah.
Terminator.
So you
So
look at the progress in special effects in just those, say it was 5 years, even if it's 7 at the past, that's a massive leap from where it was. But the effect on that when you're watching that in the cinema at the time, especially for actually anybody for the first time,
yeah,
is impressive. Because you go,
yeah,
Jesus, look at that werewolf, look at that Terminator, look at that. It doesn't matter that it's if you're sitting thinking, oh, it's look at that animatronic head, that's okay, think that, but at the same time, remember that's quite an achievement for that time because
yeah,
the thing was 2 years previous, and look at the practical effects on that,
yeah.
which is still
Oh,
timeless to this day.
incredible. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
and
thing
it's a
was
good story.
my thing was my first Halloween watch this year, and yeah, every time I'm blown away by how bloody good it looks.
But you know, where did I see it? I was watching it. Was it yesterday? Actually, I was watching it yesterday in the background because when I was working, I had this on in the background, and still to this day, you're just sitting and watch. Every time there's a monster comes on, you're just looking at
Yeah,
the screen and like exploding dogs' heads. I go, oh, because that's what scared us as kids. Because all the bigger boys used to say, yeah, you have to watch this thing because all the dogs' heads explode, and you're going, oh, dogs' heads.
yeah.
What happened? You used to be terrified, but now you watch and you just go, it is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
There really is. It
So
really is.
the premise of Terminator is Skynet sends a Terminator back in time to eliminate Sarah Connor because she will give birth to the man who will be responsible for turning the tide in the future war, John Connor. So, pretty simple premise. And they send Kyle Reese back, who ends up getting Sarah pregnant with. So he is John Connor's dad. So I think we call that I believe that's a grandfather paradox. Is that what that's called? Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone.
That's cool. Actually, do you know what you say? Now that you say that, I was just thinking, John Connor knew the Kyle Reese was his dad,
Yeah.
and he sent him back, and what he was thinking was, you had to shag my ma.
I don't think that's all he
And
was
I was,
thinking, but
but you know what I mean? He sort of like, I went, hang on a minute. You sort of like have it, that, ugh, that's a bit creepy, actually, but it's It is. Is it the grandfather
I
paradox?
don't
It is.
think it's creepy. I think like
It is a wee bit like, yeah, you have to go on this mission to save this woman, and then forget to tell him that you have to have sex with her, by the way, to create me. What if what if they hadn't have made it and had been frisky and had unprotected sex? That'd be a different movie. But
yeah.
yeah, it is a wee bit when you think about, okay, you go back and save the world, but you have to do this or a wee bit as well in a motel. Right, hurry up. When you talking 2 minutes. Um, yeah, no,
Well, we'll say it was edited down phone.
it was, do you know what else came into my head there? Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia kissing in Empire that Strikes Back. You sort of go, ugh.
You seem to think about that a lot. I'm a bit worried about you.
No, do you know what? I would love to get talking to George Lucas, and because as you know, Star Wars from
Listen,
day one.
listen. We need to focus on this one for the moment. We'll get back to Star
Yeah, but
Wars.
like but he said he had them all planned out. But if he had them all planned out, how did he forget that wee bit that they're brother and sister?
Yeah.
So
I'm not sure if he actually did, but we'll
I
cover that
don't think
another
he did.
time. So I think this is
I
called
don't
a
think he did.
grandfather paradox. So he's sent back in time, which ultimately creates John to send him back in time in first place. So I think that's the grandfather paradox. But again, if I'm wrong, let me know. So sometimes movies have a paradox where it's a flaw in the movie, but it all depends on the exact details of the movie and its own internal rules. So this movie is aware that it is a paradox, and it doesn't do anything to break its own rules that it has set up. It's aware that, okay, this is a paradox. Even at the end, Sarah Connor's kind of talking about it, saying that, oh, you need to send your dad back or you won't be born. So it doesn't do anything to break the rules it's established. So in that case, like, I think, it could be forgiven. We accept it and we move on with the movie. There are other movies that create a paradox and they're not aware that they've done that, and it breaks some of the established rules that they've already set up, which kind of breaks the
Yeah,
story. But this
time
doesn't do that.
travel's complicated.
It's
Time travel's
complicated, but like
complicated.
it is like, as we were saying in the other discussion, use whatever rules you
Yeah,
want, just be consistent
yeah,
with them. If you set up that this is how it works, then you have to stick with that.
stick with that. Yeah, well, let's just looked up the grandfather paradox there. So it's if Kyle Reese goes back in time and kills his grandfather, therefore Kyle Reese's father was never born. So how could he go back in time in the first place to kill the grandfather? Is the
Yes,
grandfather
yeah,
paradox?
yeah, exactly, that kind of thing.
See, my head touch just thinking about that.
But I mean, it's something your movie can do if it's aware that that's the
Yeah,
rules it's going with. If in this world you can have paradoxes like that, fine, fair enough, we move on. So I
yeah.
wouldn't see it as. I mean, some people have pointed it out as a big flaw in the movie, but the movie, is aware that this is how this world works. You can have.
And plus, if time, yeah, you can also go with the direction that time is not a straight line; that it's actually
Yeah,
tributaries and branches off
yeah.
on top of that as well. So it really depends. But I mean, it's not. Uh, don't be sitting thinking about it like it's just a movie. It's his, this has to happen in order to ensure the future. So John Connor is actually making sure that everything happens the way it happens.
Yeah. And
And
it's
the
a
fact that Reese doesn't know that he has to fall in love with, well, he knows he's in love with Sarah anyway from that picture, but he doesn't think he's going to go back and make love to her, no, that sort of stuff. So that is all hoping that you go back and do that.
well,
That this
John
happens.
John
You're
knows it will happen.
making the assumption. Yeah, but he's making the assumption it'll happen.
Well, he's not making the assumption.
Yeah.
It does happen because he exists, so it has to have
No,
happened.
but that's what I'm saying. When you go further down, if you're looking at time travel as a possibility, it, because he exists, and it is part of that grandfather thing. Just because he exists doesn't mean if he sends him back now without the knowledge of what he has to do, it may not happen. Do you
But
know what I mean? And then time changes. I think Genesis sort of
but it
looked
it,
at that
it
as well.
definitely does happen. Do you know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
no, I know it definitely does happen. I've
no, no. I
watched them
mean, in the
all.
way, in like John's head, he knows that's how it plays out
Yeah,
because he
yeah,
exists, and certain other things that you know Like
We never got.
Sarah at the end is like leaving tapes from and stuff, so he knows for
Yeah,
sure that it will go that way.
we never got to see John in the first one, did we? I don't think so.
Is it the second one you get that brief shot of him? Yeah, I don't think I
Could
don't.
be, could be, yeah, yeah. Aye, because I don't think we've seen him. We've seen Kyle come back in time in the big bubble
Hmm.
and then fall. But I don't think we've ever seen the future battlefield where the Terminators are crushing the skulls of the dead humans.
Yeah,
But no, we never got to see John actually. Yeah, right enough.
right. So
So
let's
it's kind of a mystical, mysterious figure.
yeah, which I think could be a good choice. Not
Mm,
actually ever showing him, as you said, having him as this mythical figure of John Connor.
yeah, yeah.
All right. So since we're talking about Kyle, let's dig into his character and in a bit more detail. So Kyle comes back in time because in the future he's a photograph of Sarah, and he looks at it. He's memorized every line and every detail in her face, as he says to her later. And so he's already in love with her just from having her picture.
Mm,
So he volunteers to go back and be the one that tries to save her. Um, so I think that's a good choice because it adds an extra layer to the movie beyond just, oh well, someone has to do it, or just a sense of duty. Like there's that aspect of he was in love with her and that's why he volunteers to go back and do it. And I think it's a really good choice narratively. And it's basically like, if you think about it, really it's his love for her that saves humanity, because it's him going back in time, it creates John Connor who ends up turning the tide. So really it all stems from Kyle Reese's love of Sarah Connor.
yeah. It's that theme of love conquers all, and it's kind of, even though he doesn't know this, even though he's in love with her, but doesn't know he's the father or going to be a father. The fact he does it, and it's almost like a what do you call it, a predestination event
Right.
or predetermined event. So he was always going to go back in time and always going to um,
Yeah.
end up with Sarah to create John in the first place,
Yeah.
which is a
Um,
bit more powerful than being told, by the way, seem to go back. You and my mummy have to, do the business. Because then it happens naturally between them because
mm,
she falls for him too, even though he's fallen. But that's the way I was with my wife, you know. I was in love with her before she was in love with me. And I went, that's the girl I'm going to marry.
there you go.
About 3 weeks before we actually went on our first date. And yeah, so I understand now. Remember, we were talking about Silver Bullet, understanding aspects of a movie as life goes on, you have more experiences.
Yeah, yeah.
With the disability in that one. So that's sort of went, oh yeah, I was in love with her before she even knew that she noticed me, but never wasn't romantically attracted. But that,
There you
so
go.
I could be Kate Race.
There you go. You'd go back in time for your wife, would you?
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
I bet you she could go back. I bet you she wishes she could go back in time and change a few things.
oh many a day, many a day.
Um. So yeah, overall, what do you think of Reese as a character?
I like Grace.
I like Reese a
See,
lot.
I'm when you're looking at a hero, it's not that he's a flawed hero. He is a hero much more than Luke Skywalker, for example, would be, because given. There's no way back. So when you go back in time, you go back naked because you can't take nothing with you.
Yeah.
Um, he knows it's a one-way trip, which makes it that much more heroic. And the fact that he's in love with her because he carries her picture about,
Yeah.
um, that elevates him to not global, almost like a universal hero. No, that there's very few would do that.
That's another thing I like.
You know what I mean?
So he goes back in time. For one, he's in love with Sarah and he says he wants to meet the legend. And two, it is a big sacrifice for him to do this because it's
Yeah.
a one-way
Did you mean?
trip and he has to go and like do battle with a Terminator. So like his love for Sarah and then a man's sacrifice for humanity kind of creates John Connor, which I think is very nice thematically.
Yeah. I mean, that's the ultimate hero.
Yeah,
It's
and
it's
he's
not like
not like, he's the opposite of Arnie. He's not a big burly dude. He's not your typical kind of big strong action guy. I really liked the introduction to the two of them and the contrast, because when Kyle appears back in time, he's obviously butt naked, and it's very different than when Arnie appears, obviously. And now, if you're watching the movie for the first time and you haven't a clue what's going on, I think it's great because you're like, what's going on? Who are these guys? One's after Sarah, the other's kind of stalking Sarah. Are they both after her? It's like it's really cool. But when Reese appears, you see all these battle wounds on him, so you already get a sense of like,
Mm.
oh, okay, this guy's been through some stuff.
Whereas Arnie's just perfect body, not
Perfect
a scar on
body,
him.
very methodical. Very
Doesn't smile a lot.
doesn't smile a lot. No, he's actually so laser focused sometimes that he makes what I would call mistakes. Like there's time where he walks out of the apartment room and he's just got his big fucking gun over his shoulder, and I'm
Yeah.
like, you're not being very sneaky here, but it's just a bit of fun, I guess. But
But you know, the background to that though was Schwarzenegger in the Terminator
no,
role. So he was never supposed to be the Terminator. He was supposed to be Kyle Reese.
ah, that would have been very
And
different.
do you know who the Terminator was supposed to be?
Who?
My favorite person, Lance Henriksen,
Wow,
Bishop from Alien.
who is it
Yeah,
actually in the movie?
who's in the movie.
Yeah,
Who is actually one of two actors to be killed by the Terminator, the Alien, and the Predator,
yeah,
which is another fact. The other one is Bill Paxton,
the
who
great
is
Bill
also
Paxton.
in the movie.
Yeah.
The late great Bill.
Now, if
So
Arnie was cast as Reese, my first question is like, in the future where resources are probably scarce, where's he getting all that protein?
you're right. You're right.
And Reese suits
But
the part so much better. I
yeah,
mean,
because
sorry, Michael
Henriksen
Biehn.
had the role. Henriksen had the role, and then Schwarzenegger went up to camera and said, "Listen, what I do? What if I play the Terminator?" And he gave a spiel about this is a machine. Everything about him is machine focused, and through that conversation, it convinced Cameron to switch them about. So Henriksen became a cop,
Yeah,
and I think it's part of the reason he also got the main role of Bishop, even
yeah,
though he was sort of lined up. Um, which, if the Bishop role hadn't worked for him, he was actually quitting acting altogether.
yeah,
But that's how the roles were reversed,
yeah,
and Arnie became the Terminator. And the way, like when you mentioned the gun coming out into the card over the gun, he sees the gun as an extension of the machine. So it's not like a
yeah.
normal body, mental body who would come out and wave the gun and start shooting people. The gun's an instrument, an extension of the Terminator. And I was that flat. I thought that's quite. You wouldn't think Arnie would think like that,
Yeah,
especially in the early days of his career. But that's how he got the role of Terminator.
yeah. Even like those things where, so that famous "I'll be back" line, Arnie was disputing that with James Cameron, because he
Mm,
believed that if he was a robot, he would say it more like "I will be back," and they
I
had a
will
bit of
be
a
back.
back and
Yeah,
forth over it, which ultimately the best result came to. But it
yeah,
shows that Arnie was thinking about these lines and actually, giving it a lot of thought.
yeah. And if you think about it, and it's just struck me there now because I actually hadn't thought about this. If you had Lance Henriksen as the Terminator in this one, and then you had Robert Patrick in the second one, they're very similar
Mm,
in body shape. They're very thin. No, they're not big, giant people. They're thin, almost arrow-like
yeah.
people. Very
I mean, I would
athletic.
describe it as like Arnie's like a tank, and Robert Patrick's more like an advanced sports car or something like
Yeah,
that.
exactly, exactly. So I mean, that that too, you probably have said, "Oh no, they've just copied what Lance did in the first one by having sort of similar body shape factor." Whereas because Arnie's took it over, you can't really duplicate that.
Mm,
So
yeah.
it really does separate it out.
I also think I think he's great in this, but I actually think people don't credit him enough with his performance in Terminator 2 particularly, because it's
Mm.
like, you know, he's playing a machine, but there's a lot of work that goes into the things he's doing in the movie, and I think it goes underappreciated. I actually would say he's given a good performance in Terminator 2.
Yeah, a friend of mine said he never thought Schwarzenegger could act until he watched Kindergarten Cop.
Oh yeah.
But Terminator, I think it does because he
Yeah.
is, and especially when you find out these background conversations, he knew what he wanted when he went in, and he saw what was best for the movie. before that even went in, and he was 100% right.
I think he's got good instincts
Mm.
as a creative, and honestly, I think sometimes people just can't see past his accent because it gets parodied a lot. But I actually think he is a pretty decent actor. I think he gives a good performance in Predator.
Yeah, a Predator's grip.
And as you said, Kindergarten Cop, I think he's great in that movie.
Yeah.
And I've watched it
There's
pretty
something,
recently as well. So
there's something else I watched him and I thought he's doing all right. Like,
yeah,
I mean, it's easy to dismiss, but that's human nature. Just build things up and then try and bring them down. But I mean, you can't really because he's actually exceeded or excelled in his ambitions. He
yeah,
just wanted to be an actor and go to America and make a new life for himself. He was on that program, The View in America. He says, no, they're talking about immigration and stuff. But he says, I came here to take um, advantage of the opportunities that America give me and build a good life for himself.
yeah.
And of
And
course, I
he's
went into the movie and he did it.
yeah, like if you
Stayed.
think about it, he could have coasted off just being a big action star, but he went into comedy. He tried other things, and he
Mm.
was always trying to mix it up, which I really admire him for. But so we see another
Okay,
character in this.
Commando.
Sorry.
Raw Deal and Commando.
Yeah.
They're standard. No, like everybody's done them. Van Damme or Sylvester and Stallone.
Hmm.
They've all done that type of movie. But then you see Kindergarten Cop, Jingle All the Way,
Twins. Yeah.
Terminator, yeah, Twins. It's much more diverse.
Yeah.
Whereas Stallone's comedy attempt failed completely.
Yeah.
Stop or my mom will shoot.
Oh God. Do you know
So there
what?
is.
I I have that on DVD.
Delete that bit. Don't tell the world. There'll be
I mean,
people talking
is
about
that
it.
not a good one to have though? It's one of those like I don't. Most people just probably have never heard of.
Well, see, they should do because I love the Golden Girls
Golden Girls was
and
great.
and
Yeah.
so Sophia Estelle Getty is just so funny.
Yeah.
So everybody, so she's really doing Sophia from Golden Girls in that movie.
Mm.
But I could sit and watch her all day because I mean, funny enough, when you look at that, the Golden Girls as an overall series of 7 seasons, there isn't a bad episode,
Awesome.
and everything is funny.
Yeah.
Everything is funny, and it just works. So I don't understand why people don't like that movie. And maybe it's because it's Stallone, but Estelle Getty's just so funny in it.
Yeah. So there's another character in this movie that makes an appearance in T2, and that is Dr. Silverman.
Mm.
He's some boyo, this fella. So I was so there's a bit where Sarah's in the police station and they're watching Reese on a screen. Oh no, sorry, it's before that. So she's in the police station. She's really distressed and she's talking about everything that's going on. And Dr. Silverman's there, who's what's his actual title? Psychologist, psychiatrist.
It's like I think it's psychiatrist. Just haven't really knows her.
Yeah,
I think it's a psychiatrist.
yeah. So he's there, and as Sarah's talking, and she's very, very distressed over these events, he's just standing there and he's yawning, and he's just like vaguely interested and stuff. And we see that, like, even as briefly as he is in this movie, like, we see a lot about him. So, like, he obviously he doesn't show much empathy towards Sarah or. And he's talking about Kyle like, oh, this guy's gonna like help build my career and stuff. So it's interesting that Silverman, like, you could say he's as cold as the machines. As I said, Sarah's there in distress and she's recounting stuff that happened, and he's just standing there and he yawns and he's just like, only kind of like vaguely interested and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, Silverman's he doesn't care about
Yeah.
people much for someone who's supposed to be
No,
helping people.
he's in the wrong fucking job, that boy. He's a
Yeah,
criminal psychiatrist, so we got half it right. So, yeah, you're 100% right. But and funny, just looking at that and looking at his profile and stuff, the horror aspect you mentioned earlier, to find out that somebody is going around killing people with the same name as you indiscriminately and you have no links to them whatsoever is scary.
yeah.
So
I'm telling you,
why
man.
would you
Like, if I put this on Halloween with a group of people, and someone goes, "What the fuck are we watching this for? I thought we were going to watch some horror movies," and I'd be like, "Get out! What are you talking about?"
And I'd be standing at the door. I'd be standing at the door with my metal leg going, "You leave him alone. You sit down, son. You got it right."
And do you know
But
what? Do you know what, Owen? You'd be right to do so because everyone's entitled to their opinion. So you would have done the
yeah,
right
that's
thing in
right.
that situation, and I
Yeah,
would have
that's
learned a
right.
valuable moral lesson.
You would. You would. I'm so glad I'm here to educate. I'm changing my name to Yoda, just to let you know. So next podcast,
Yogurt.
welcome Irish author Yoda Quinn. Yay! Um, but
um,
it is. I mean, if somebody said to you, by the way, Stephen, just to let you know, there's about 25 people with your name, and 3 of them just been shot dead, and I think there's another one.
wouldn't that be
You would be
horrifying?
I'd
Yeah.
be. I'm telling you, I fucking tend to be shitting bricks in our house.
Yeah.
Because you know why? Funny enough, when we're talking about names, Owen and I never really heard any other Owens growing up. It's more common now. But
Mm.
when I go into my email list in work, there was only me. And I actually thought to myself one day, see if this was a Terminator movie, I'd be the first. I'd be a very short movie
Yeah.
because I'd be the only one on the list. So he'd get
Well,
me first
the
time.
thing is, if it happened today, it would be very, very easy to find someone.
Yeah, God, yeah. That's a scary thing.
Yeah, I mean,
It's too
it
easy to
did
find
be to
people
be
now.
at your door in a couple of hours. Boom, dead, job done.
Because if you said, like when you said you have a group of people from watching it at Halloween, I guarantee someone will go, "What's a phone book?"
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
remember the phone books. I remember the yellow pages. I remember the directory, and then you could ring up BT and get taken out of it if you wanted to be X directory. So I remember all that. It's sort of like kids today looking at it probably wouldn't know what that was. Strange
Yeah,
how everything changed so much
yeah.
that you can literally locate them. I don't use location on my phone. I don't like that.
Hmm.
I don't really like
I guess
the distant
it's
parts and
handy
stuff that
for
come up.
like if someone suddenly went missing, you can track maybe where they last were.
Yeah, but who's really going to know that they're going to go missing? Do you know what I mean?
What a
I just
sentence!
find it. But I mean, who's going to know? I
No
got to put
one,
this
no
up here.
one plans on going missing. I think that's the point.
But that's my point. So why do you don't really need it unless you're Indiana Jones or something, or you're going on a suicide
Well,
mission.
what if you had
Um,
a bad accident and no one knows where you are, or you get kidnapped, or you get assaulted, or whatever?
well, if you get kidnapped, they're going to take your phone off you. If you get assaulted, you're going to be
Yeah, but
unconscious.
they can still track where it was, and
Not if they move the body. And then I mean, not if they forget to lift your phone and you're away in the ambulance and everybody goes and finds your phone and you're
I'm
10
not
miles
sure
away.
what's happening right now. So we're gonna go back to Terminator.
We're going on, we're the way we're talking about times a river. We're going off on the wee branches now. We're
Yeah.
going on a what ifs or what ifs and what is. I just
This
find
is actually the start of the podcast, and at the start you
this
heard
is,
the end of it. That's it. We're all in this mad time
yeah,
loop.
this is a very timey-wimey.
There's a few cool details I like with the Terminator, just little things. So when he drives up to someone's house, he's in I think it's a station wagon, you call that, and he just drives over a
Yeah,
kid's toy, and it's just neat little
yeah,
things like that. He's like, because he's an evil robot from the future, and he's taking away our future, and he's just
yeah, because
awful.
he's technically out to kill
Say that one more time.
it by preventing it from being born in the first place, which
Yeah.
again is a very horrific
Well,
concept.
is it Lance Henriksen's character who says it's some kind of retroactive abortion or something? I think he says that in this.
I am not sure,
Does he
to be
make some
honest.
kind of comment about it like that? And because Henriksen as well, like Silverman, he's a bit of a cold character, and he's like cracking jokes at inappropriate times and stuff like that. So
Mm.
we see that some people can be awful also.
Oh yeah. Oh, people scare me. I've said to you before, the what I'm scared of most in the world is people
Yeah,
because you don't know when you're going to walk in somebody looks completely ordinary.
or someone in your life could be a whack job, and you've just
Yeah,
never
or
known for years.
or they're a devil worshiper or something, and you're going, what is going on
Yeah.
here? Yeah, people scare me. They really do.
Right.
Now
So
most people are lovely,
yeah,
but you just
yeah.
just have to be worried sometimes.
We have to talk now about one of my favorite character arcs of all time between this and Terminator 2, Sarah Connor. I love Sarah
So
Connor's character arc. So, like,
The
what are arc
waitress,
real? Yeah, go for it. Sorry.
the ordinary waitress,
Yeah, that.
suddenly thrust forward by the universal powers that be and events to become this hardened resistance fighter, teaching her kid how to survive what's coming.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
her arc kind of shows that like greatness can come from unexpected sources because she doesn't
Oh yeah.
seem like someone exceptional when you first meet her. She's getting ready for her waitressing job. She's got her little scooter. She parks it outside and she cracks a little joke as well. And it's weird because
Mm.
I've seen T2 more times than this, and it's a bit more fresh in my head. But when you go back and you see Sarah Connor's introduction, like it's crazy thinking about where she came from and where she ends up.
But but I mean that's good story, right?
Yeah, and
That's the heroes for me. The Time Warriors is the same. My Time Warriors are not.
say that one more time. You just cut out there for a second. Hello? All right, sorry about that. We had a little bit of a technical hiccup. Sorry, Owen, what were you talking about?
About what you mentioned about the journey of Sarah from ordinary waitress to a hardened resistant fighter, having to teach her kid how to survive the future
Mm,
in order for the past to be maintained. Yeah, she's not. I mean, that's what I was saying. The Time Warriors are the same. They're not muscle men or women. They don't have superpowers. They're just ordinary people who get caught up in extraordinary events, and they deal with it and they learn from it and they change with each new challenge. And I think that's. I mean, you've got He-Man. It's not the greatest of examples, but you've got Adam, who looks like a superhero anyway. Prince
yeah.
Adam, and he whips out his sword and becomes. That's not a great example. A great example would actually be Carol from Walking Dead. Carol, do you watch The Walking Dead?
I've
Are you
seen
familiar with
season
Carol?
1 and 2.
Yeah, Melissa McBride, great actress. Met her. Um, she was a battered housewife in the first few seasons. Her child was killed, turned into a zombie, and they were going to kill her off, and then decided to change the direction. And now Carol is became a badass, just like Sarah
Mm,
Connor,
corner.
Sarah Connor, or Sarah Connor. She was in the corner. So she became a badass, just like Sarah Connor, and she is now in the spin-off series with Daryl Dixon, and that story arc is something similar to what Sarah's is. So it is ordinary people, and
Yeah,
I like to see that. I
yeah,
like to see the ordinary Joe, the underdog,
yeah. I do
but
love a I do
that
love a
way.
story of like someone who just seems like your ordinary, maybe unexceptional person growing into something. I like stories like
Yeah,
that a lot. And even Sarah herself, when Kyle's filling her in on what's happening, she can't believe this. She can't believe that she is the person he's actually looking for. Like she can't believe
yeah,
she's an essential part of human survival because she's just a normal person
yeah.
with a normal life. And yeah, I like it quite a bit. There's a little detail that I spotted the last time I watched it that I'd never noticed before, but there's a bit where I think that Sarah's wearing a Jetsons top. You know, Jetsons, the TV show, the cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
the Jetsons is about a family from the future. And I thought, oh, that's a neat little detail.
could well be,
There you go.
could well be.
Um,
But I mean, on an additional point on that, it's not. She's the mother to the Messiah. Sort
yeah.
of things. You're coming back to that universal theme.
Mm,
She's the most important person in the world, but like Donna Noble in Doctor Who in season 3, Donna was just a temp and not very good at noticing what was going on around her, but she was the most important person in the universe because she was the one that saved everything. So it's those themes, and they're played out so well.
yeah.
With Linda Hamilton, she's really good. I like Linda Hamilton. Do you remember Beauty and the Beast? Maybe you don't.
I do. I
TV
remember when I
series.
was really young, I saw some clips of it, but I'm not too familiar with it.
Yeah. Loved it. Loved it. One of my ambitions was to meet Ron Perlman, which I did,
Nice.
and I was due to meet Linda Hamilton and Robert Patrick the week before, but they took my leg off a week before I was due to go, so I never got to see them.
Oh
Big
man,
regret.
that's a
But we did
shame.
meet Michael Bean. But I
Yeah.
haven't met Michael Bean. He's very nice. I've met him twice. Once in Belfast, at a convention in the SSC Arena, which was the Odyssey, and then once in Dublin.
Yeah. Nice.
He's really nice. He is really nice. So I
Yeah.
have his autograph.
Yeah.
But I'm really glad I didn't get to meet her. Apparently, she was lovely. The
Yeah,
Dublin Comic Con was really, really nice.
she seems like a lovely person.
Yeah.
And fantastic actress. Like, I think her performance
Yeah.
in T2 is incredible. But
She was killed in Beauty and the Beast. Tears was tripping me. It was such an emotional show anyway. It was the Beauty and the Beast traditional story, but updated.
yeah.
She was in love with him and he was in love with her, and he looked like a lion. But they killed her. She decided to leave after season 2, and they killed her off after she had the baby. And it was just, you're emotionally wrecked.
Yeah.
It was just that kind of show. But she's very good at that. She is an emotional core. And when you look at Terminator the movie, she's the emotional core of that movie, because now everything's on her shoulders by the end of it.
Yeah. It is kind of heartbreaking when you see her change, like, from the kind of mother you would imagine she would be in this movie if she was just left alone versus what she ends up being, because she's a certain way with John Connor. And we'll go into it in more detail when we cover T2 down the line. But she's more hardened, we shall say. But throughout this movie, you see little changes in her, and there's some bits that highlight that. So when we're coming to our finale and Reese is badly injured and he's not getting up off the ground, and instead of panicking and freaking out, she kind of grabs him and she says, "On your feet, soldier." So we see that she's becoming who she was meant to be. Like, she's changing.
Yeah.
And there's another bit where, so she manages to get Reese up. They run for a bit, and the Terminator's still coming because he's fucking relentless. And they're face to face with the Terminator, and Reese goes for a run. So she's telling her to run away, and she refuses. She says no. She wants to stand and fight with Reese. And he has to really, really convince her to kind of run. And then ultimately she knows she has to, because she's very important. But I like that bit of her character where she's confronted with this thing, and Reese is telling her to run, and she says no. Great bit of character, that.
Plus, it's now reality. Any doubts she had about this mad story about robots from the future, it's right there in front of her. Shit, this is real.
Yeah.
We have to stand and fight, because I cannot let my child fall under this.
Yeah.
So what she's going to do, whatever she needs to do to happen, that includes changing her entire life, going on the run, and becoming the Sarah Connor that Reese knows about and that John knows about, rather than the one that she thinks she was going to have.
Yeah. So it's really cool at the end seeing her take more control and have those character shifts. And Reese puts a bomb in the Terminator and he blows it. Oh, actually, just before we get to that, there's a bit in the where before that the Terminator's chasing Sarah Connor in a truck, and Reese takes a big risk here, but I guess he has no choice. He's feeling desperate. He puts a bomb in the truck and then he hides in a dumpster, but that could have easily backfired and killed Sarah. So it was a risk, but it's one I guess he had to take, because what else was he going to do, I guess. But here in the finale, he puts a bomb in the Terminator. The Terminator blows up, and that ends up killing Reese. And, Reese ultimately sacrificed himself for Sarah.
For the love of his life.
For the love of his life and for humanity, like, for everyone. And
an unborn baby.
Yeah, and what I like about this as well is that, throughout the movie, Sarah and Reese are working together to fight the Terminator. And I love that, even before this finale, she's not, like, useless. She's kind of like, she's helping out. She's doing little things here and there. And at the end,
you're seeing the hero being born.
Exactly.
Really?
And Reese is now out of the picture, so Sarah has to now deal with this entire situation herself. And I think it was a good choice that she's the one that kind of strikes the final blow and defeats the Terminator. I think, narratively and symbolically and all that, that's a great choice. What do you think?
Oh, 100%. Because it's now her responsibility, not by her choice, but by the events that spiral around her and drag her into it. And she goes, and then she obviously realizes this, as I said, it's real, because the thing's in front of her when it's trying to kill her. So she's fighting for her unborn child already, and there's no question about it. It's just a simple reality. I have to get up for work in the morning. I have to do this for my kid.
Yeah.
And again, thematically, that's a hero
Yeah. And
because
she gets the job done. She does it.
yeah, yeah,
You're
it's kind of
terminated.
interesting
What
to
was
see the
the we all great movies have to have their final line before they kill the baddie, and hers was "You're terminated, fucker." Is it fucker or motherfucker? I think it's
probably
fucker.
fucker.
You're terminated, fucker. And she squishes
Yeah,
him, and all that's left is his hand, which will become important for the
come
sequel.
back to 100.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing. If you know this situation, you'd want to destroy everything as part. You wouldn't leave behind stuff, which is all. I know that opens the door for the sequel and blah blah blah. But I just thought if I was in that situation, I knew this was coming. You wouldn't leave a scrap. You know the thing's been crushed because you've just seen it. I would lift the wee thing up again and put the bits that didn't get crushed inside and
Hmm.
crush them as well. But that's
Well,
it's like
there's a
every
couple of
what's
points to make
ending.
about that. One is that she's probably just so relieved that the job is done. She's not kind of thinking too much about that. But also maybe she's
Mm.
thinking that, a little bit of evidence would be nice so that people know she's not crazy.
She doesn't take it with her though.
No, but
Doesn't it
she's
end
no,
up
no,
in the
no. But
second
she's
one
probably
for the?
hoping that like it'll be discovered and people will see like, oh, this fucking thing's a bit advanced.
I would say she's doing my pet hate assumption. Don't assume people because you see what actually happens. But at the end of the day, if you're faced with if you've come from, I'm going to work in the morning to serve omelets and chips and burgers. To I've just killed a super robot that wants to destroy my son and my family and the rest of the planet Earth. It's like you're not going to be thinking straight. You're just be thinking it's dead. Let's get out of here with Reese and find out and decide what we're going to do next.
Yeah,
How do we stop this from happening?
yeah,
So what is my role now?
yeah.
So it
And
is trauma and
it's an interesting kind of journey as well because at the start of the movie she's doing her waitressing job and she's getting a little overwhelmed with the stress of it all, and then she goes
mm,
from being overwhelmed in that situation to be able to be, you know, keep enough of a head about her to be able to deal with this mad situation. So it's a nice little journey from, it's a good little A to
yeah.
B. But yeah.
It's fight or flight. It's
Mm,
fight or flight. If somebody's burger isn't cooked properly, just roll your eyes, go yep. But this is fight or flight. This is her life, and now she realizes why everything is happening. All these people, but her name being killed and all. So
mm,
she has no choice but to sort of stand and go right, okay, and she accepts it. She doesn't like dither about it. It's yeah,
mm.
let's get in, let's kick this thing. We're standing together.
There's
She
another
doesn't
bit.
expect to lose race,
Yeah,
but
yeah. And it's shot in a way that you would expect that maybe he lives because it doesn't clearly show him dying until she finds him. And usually when things do that, it's because, oh, they actually survived. But no, he does
yeah,
die, which I think was a good choice for the story. It wouldn't be obviously the same if they wrote it in a way where he lived.
no,
Um,
yeah,
there's another
it's a
detail as
single
well. So
minded.
when they're on the run and they're staying in a motel, how the Terminator actually finds them is because Sarah decides to give her mother the number of the motel because, well, she thinks it's her mother. It's actually the Terminator, and
Yeah,
she wants to put her mother's mind at ease, and she cares about, her mother and all this kind of stuff. So she kind of learns in that regard that like, sometimes having these strong connections with people can be a sort of
yeah,
weakness, and maybe that's part of the reason where she like maybe starts to get a bit cold. There's something
and
in there
then
that's very interesting, I think.
yeah, and trust no one. I think at this point
Mm.
she can't trust anyone with this, and if she can't trust her own mother,
Mm.
given it's not really her mother, but she doesn't know that. But now she knows any connection's a weakness.
Yeah,
So she becomes that hardened person, which is nicely explored in the next one.
exactly. And then at the end, we get Sarah is alone. We see that she's pregnant, and we see when that picture. So Reese had that picture in the future. We see
Mm,
the point where that picture was taken, and it's Sarah talking to John through tapes. She's leaving tapes from, and that's what
yeah.
Reese was looking at this whole time, and it's very tragic.
Yeah, it's a nice bookend for the movie though,
Yeah, because
because it'll
throughout the movie,
not.
Reese used to look at the picture and he'd be
Yeah,
like, "I wonder what you were
before he
thinking."
actually went back.
He'd be like,
Yeah, before he went back to the past.
he'd be like, "I wonder what you were. I always wondered what you were thinking in that moment." And then it turns out she's thinking about John and him when he's dead and all this kind of stuff. So it's yeah, it's pretty tragic.
Yeah, she's grieving for him and not
Mm,
grieving for Jay, but just grieving for him and now figuring out how to protect her, the child, and everybody else.
yeah, and she's leaving these tapes for
These
John, and
things coming back.
she says to John that I know you got to make this decision now, but she says that we only knew each other a couple of hours, but we loved a lifetime's worth.
Mm.
And
I'm a great believer in that, you know.
really,
Really
nice,
am.
nice.
Yeah, I'm just.
You're
Yeah,
you're a romantic.
and yeah, a wee bit. The wife wouldn't tell you what it was like, but sure. I no, I do. I believe you can have a lifetime of love in a short period of time, whatever the circumstances. Sometimes tragic, sometimes not.
Mm,
But yeah, I am a bit of a romantic,
there
so
you
it's
go.
quite a nice. And I think it's the fact it's when you hear her voice at the end doing the tapes, and you go, "Oh, that's how John found out." So and you know, it's just still alive down the line at some point, even though she's not alive when he becomes the resistance. So you've still that
Mm,
hope, which is now what she symbolizes.
yeah. And then what a difficult decision John has to make now because he has all this information now and he knows that he has to send Reese back or otherwise he won't be born and everyone's doomed. But also because Sarah was saying like how much they loved each other, like he doesn't want to take that away from Reese either, going back and meeting her. As brief as it
Mm.
was, probably one of the more important experiences in his life. So yeah, it's a complex
How
situation
did
all
Reese
around.
get the photograph?
He said
Did he?
John gave it to him.
Don't give it to him. You sort of wonder why.
Well, you know now.
No, we know why, but if it was me, he was going, "Why you give me a picture here, man?" No,
You got to, I don't know, whatever
you.
way the conversation went, and because I
And they
think
were drunk one night, and now
John knows that Reese will fall in love with her, so maybe he's like, here, have a
yeah,
picture of her.
maybe he's putting the
Maybe as a
pieces in
way of
place.
kind of Reese knowing her for a longer
Yeah,
period of time because he doesn't get much time with her, something like that. I'm not sure.
it's putting pieces in place to ensure the timeline follows
Mm,
what it should have followed. That Reese will be the one to go back, and
yeah.
everything happens as it should do.
And then at the end of the movie, we get some great music. I love the music in this movie. Like some of the chase scenes and some of the action scenes, and then the end music. I think it just
Yeah,
has the perfect tone for that kind of ending.
there was somebody did a remix. I'm hesitant to say dance remix because I don't think it was a dance remix, but it was like a more upbeat tempo. It just didn't work as a faster pace as that.
Mm.
What they did was right. It's a bit like Jaws. You couldn't do a dance remix of
No, no,
Jaws.
no, no, no.
But yeah, good movie. Good movie.
Yeah, so yeah, obviously we highly recommend this movie. I think it's great. And then when you watch this and T2 back to back, I think it's a fantastic experience. So if you've never seen
Yeah,
either for some reason, I would suggest watching them back to back in the same night if you can. They're fucking great.
yeah.
And we will cover T2 down the line, maybe after Halloween. Um, we have a lot of horror movies we want to cover. We are trying to get in Humanoids from the Deep at some stage, but it does keep changing. But if we don't get around to it for Halloween, we'll definitely cover it soon. Owen says he's put a lot of work into it, so I'm excited to hear his thoughts
I
about
have.
it.
I have. There's actually a lot to talk about in that one
Yeah,
because there's two.
I'm going to I'm going to watch it soon, and then we'll discuss. So if you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want to check out my horror novel, there's a link in the description. You can go check that out if you like your horror. And if you have not for some reason picked up The Time Warriors or Zombie Blues or also Chernobyl, click the link in the description, go to Owen's website, help support this creator. He puts a lot of hard work in, and pick up one of his books. So Owen, tell everyone about where they can find you if they want to maybe shoot you a message and chat about your work.
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram. under Time Warriors author. You can find me on Twitter at Irish author. And you can find the website www.timewarriors.co.uk. We've also got on the Blue Sky, but it seems to be not as busy as some of the other
Yeah.
platforms. And I can announce that we have a new series of children's books, of
Ooh,
which 4 have been completed. Tales from Ballinfree. So
exciting.
I'm in the so with 4 written, there's another 6 to go, 6 initials. Hopefully it'll get bigger. But on the lookout for an illustrator to do a book cover, because the characters are very not children. They not. I'm trying to think. They're like, one's a frog, one's a butterfly, and one's a rabbit. But they're the 3 main characters. So it's getting somebody that can see what I can see and put it down on paper
Yeah. So are
and
you
draw on
currently
for.
looking for an illustrator?
I am. I
So
am.
if you are an illustrator and you want to maybe show Owen some of your work, maybe be considered for his book cover, follow him. Follow him
Please
on
do,
Instagram or
guys.
wherever, and shoot him a message, have a chat with him, and yeah, see what comes out of that.
So the first story is what called Oscar the Octopus, and I've done a
Nice,
test on some people and with their kids, and that's all come back positive.
brilliant.
And you've used the word charming, which is the word I was looking for. I
Mm.
want that sort of innocence of childhood, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, the
Um,
sample you showed me, I thought had a lot of charm, and I think it's something that
yeah,
kids would love from what I've seen so far. So
yeah.
follow Owen to keep updated on all that stuff. And do you have a release date?
I don't, because I need to get my illustrator in place first and get that sort. I mean, it'll not take me long to upload it to Amazon. Um, but it's the illustrations is holding us back. Well, I'd like to have I've 4 written, so 4 can be released next week if we had the covers. But yeah, no, it will be hopefully in the new year, I think.
Hmm.
We'll go for the
Awesome.
release date if we get some illustrations sorted.
There you go. So Owen has a wide variety of books. Go to his website, pick yourself up something nice. All right, thanks for
And that
listening,
and
everyone.
that doesn't include the new that
Then
doesn't include the new Time Warriors book either.
there you go. Time Warriors is
Uh,
still going on.
I need a
How many
clone.
books is it
I need
now?
a clone. It'll be 11.
Wow,
11
fantastic.
time 11 Time Warriors, 3 Zombie Blues, and 4 Tales from Ballinfree.
There you go. So Owen has a lot of writing experience. So go check out something. Maybe get yourself something for Christmas. Thanks again, everyone, for listening, and thanks again to Owen for his input. It was awesome once again.
Thank you
And
very much.
yeah, like and subscribe if you haven't already. And we will be back again next week with some sort of stuff. We'll keep you updated. Okay, everyone. Cheers. Bye bye.
Bye.